Many thanks again, Henry. Yes, it is the last round of matches. And you'd have to say that both of these players coming into their final game of the day are feeling pretty chipper. And if you're tuning in from outside of the UK, that means that they're feeling pretty happy. But Lee Budgen has started today, and we all thought that maybe it was first day nerves. He has put those to bed, because since game 2 of his day, he has put in 2 excellent displays to bag 4 points. As for Niall Culleton, though...
First leg, it is Niall to throw first. Game on.
He's at the top of the tree. He could well finish on 8 points for the day, being the man to catch come Tuesday.
Well,
100.
I did mention, didn't I, at the start of that third game with Lee Budgen, actually, there was a bit of a pattern in those first 2 matches. And that was that he started slowly and then really grew into it as the match progressed. That is now gone from being the story of those matches to being the story of his day, where he's just started a little bit
41.
slower and then has really started to find his better form and his better darts towards the back end of the day. This is the last time we will see him today, but you're going to get to see Lee Budgen plenty more times
97.
this week. We'll see him tomorrow and Wednesday, completing his fixtures in Group A. He'll be hoping you won't see him Thursday, Friday, because if you don't see him Thursday, Friday, that means he is through to Saturday
43.
with a direct pass.
I've spoken to quite a lot of players, actually, about the format of this tournament. And the majority of the players would like to win Group A and not play on the Thursday and the Friday. But there are a select few who say they'd rather keep the momentum going, play on the first 3 days,
45.
get close, play the next 2 and stay in good touch and have a really good crack come Saturday night. But I always used to say, someone like Martin Adams, over the age of 65, he would benefit from having 2 days off going into a Saturday night. But there's one name who's not going to be in Saturday night next
38.
week when the big check is handed over.
128.
He didn't qualify through his week. We saw the joy on Conan Whitehead's face when
96.
he won Super Series 1. You wonder who's going to get that check this time.
98. Lee
By the way, James
32.
Richardson tells me that he's the Kilkenny werewolf.
It's game shot and the first leg.
Niall Culleton, that is.
Budgen.
Not Lee Budgen, who's just taken that first leg against the darts.
Yeah, I've got some experience of playing in these events myself, and when we speak about what it is, I
Second
personally
leg
like to
throw
get, if I was
first,
playing a Group
game
A, I
on.
wanted to get through it. Because physically, I'm not of a traditional 36-year-old who would be able to go
100.
through a full week. And I got through Group A on occasion, but it's how you use that time, because you're still a little bit far away from home, where it's not worth going home and coming back for you to stay in the hotel. And
58.
actually, I spent most of that week just playing Football Manager, and I never really got out of bed. And
I didn't expect you to say that, I'm not going to lie. I thought you were going to say I spent most of the time practicing, not playing Football Manager.
I barely got out of bed. I got out of bed to go get some food, got some extra food while I was out to eat in the hotel when I got back, and just sat playing Football Manager the whole time. I did, however, win the Premier League with Aston Villa.
I could have inserted a joke there, but you and Reece Colley have got me outnumbered this week, so I'm not going to say anything. Bit of a sweat on the brow of Niall coming into match number 5 of his day.
45.
And so far, it's not looking good at all. His opponent is all over him.
139.
He did change his rhythm and his pace earlier in this campaign, and it started to work, but I get the feeling it's not working at all now.
Lee Budgen.
Lee backs up the break of throw with a 13-dart hold, and he looks so comfortable playing in this 5th game. We might be looking at a player who's got a bit of an engine, and that's something you have to have when you come here to the Modus Super Series.
one player's got one engine. And one player
140.
that looks like he's got a garage full of engines and he doesn't know which one to install.
Such a lovely follow through, isn't it? You and I look at technique quite a lot, Matt, and when you see somebody piercing the air very well with a follow through, but
95.
they are working on it so much that they actually keep the hand out there for an extra second to make sure that it's delivered right. I love to see that. Mervyn King is the
42.
master of doing that on occasion. And I think a lot of people would be very well advised to watch Mervyn King
42.
on the follow-through stakes, and particularly Jamie Hughes as well, because he's very good at that.
You know, I often say when we think fully about what a follow-through is in darts, I don't believe, and it isn't,
99.
it's not a coachable factor. It's not something that we say is going to improve your game if you do this. It is the aftermath, and it's the visual confirmation of everything you are doing being correct.
69.
And when you have something like that follow through of Lee Budgen, it's visual confirmation that the throw is good for him. And then it's, like say, maximising that throw now.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. Physiologically, it means that the bones and the muscles are in the right positions. That they're doing something that is physiologically correct. If you're throwing with your elbow way out to the right-hand side and you try and follow through like that, it's not going to look the same.
Lee, you require 120.
This would be catastrophic for Niall. Plenty of room to the right. Oh, that's a pure shot.
100.
And he expected to hit that.
Now you require 32. That's game shot.
And Niall expected to hit that, and he does.
Culleton.
He is very fortunate to just be one behind instead of three.
Let's go back to discussing averages again. When we said that, they don't always tell you the full story. Niall Culleton,
game on,
averaging 67 against Lee Budgen, who's averaging 101.
There's a dart between them. 34 points is a very good dart at that, because a 34 average dart is around 102. But when you're playing with the right mindset and you're in these games, you're not thinking about averages. You speak to any player at this level, and if you were to offer them the chance of having their average displayed on the screen, they'd say no, because they don't want to think about it.
That's why some people avoid trying to look towards the screens and the monitors when they're playing the big events, isn't it? Like the World Championship, because sometimes the averages will come on. And you can see people when they come on, get that tunneled vision and just look down because they don't want to see what's going on in terms of the stats.
Budgen is going berserk.
180.
That's back-to-back maximums. I have been incredibly impressed with Budgen the last 2.5 matches.
Lee required 97.
We may have stumbled upon something with this guy. Every now and again, we find a player who really, really thrives in this kind of atmosphere. And Budgen might be one of them. That's a 12-darter for a 3-1 lead. And he was disappointed in missing that 120 checkout for about 10 seconds.
And that's it,
Fifth
isn't
leg,
it?
it is Niall to throw first. Game on.
You can be disappointed. You know, there's a lot of times you'll hear people talk, or when we're watching things like, don't show that emotion.
100.
It's okay to be disappointed or frustrated, or you can't shut the body off on feeling certain emotion. But what you can do is be dismissive
100.
of that feeling and not let it lag on into future, which is exactly what he's done here. Yes, I was disappointed I missed that. But I can't change that now.
140.
This set of darts and then this set of darts. And he is living in the now.
He's affecting the future with a good mindset.
100.
He's not dwelling on the past. You make a hugely, hugely impressive point, Matt. Let's face it, at this juncture,
121.
I'd be surprised if Lee Budgen was to be taking the distance, never mind lose the game.
140. Now we require 140.
Our best average of the day is just a shade over 100. If Budgen takes that 161, this average is going to be closer to 110
Lee require
than 100.
161.
Fair play to Culleton. He is scraping and clawing his way into surviving in this
42.
game. And there's
Now you
still
require 40.
around 30 points between them in the averages.
That
But
is
there's only
game
one
shot
leg
and the
between
fifth
them. So he
leg.
still has
Niall
a great
Culleton.
chance of winning via 3 straight legs in the contest. But this is the leg, isn't it? If we have history repeating itself from
Sixth leg, it
a
is
couple
Lee
of legs
to throw
ago,
first. Game
Culleton
on.
doesn't win.
$85.
Interesting, actually. Ever since you mentioned Jamie Hughes, I can't see anything in the Lee Budgen throw other than Jamie Hughes.
82.
Must be the beard and the lack of follicles on the top of his skull.
Everything other than that little wrist set that Jamie Hughes does is Lee Budgen's throw. It's
43.
very, very similar, very identical.
That's a compliment. As far as throws go, Jamie Hughes has got one of the best in the world.
136.
Things may be turning here if Budgen doesn't get something sizable.
Strikes me as a guy as well who's fully in control of his
123.
technique. If you ever watch or get a chance, watch those last 3 darts back. As he went and he set, he just sort of overleaned a little bit and then just reset himself
83.
back in again. Obviously didn't like the position of the shoulder and just got himself nice and tall again, built himself back up, and the guy who's in full control of what he's
58.
doing.
If Niall was to look at the scoreboard now, he'd sense that he's got a chance of winning this game.
43.
But that doesn't help. He's thinking leave 60, leave 80, something under 100. But only 157 from a position of 200 is a huge, huge error.
100.
And he
Now
might
you require
just need this to
157.
take us the distance. He might just take it. Double top.
Game
Oh,
shot
where's that
and the
come
sixth
from?
leg. Niall
That's a
Culleton.
monstrous out. And there's 19 between them in the averages, but now they're level. We say that sometimes it's the small finishes that
Seventh
make the
and
difference,
final
but
leg.
that
It
was
is
an
Niall to throw
absolute
first.
thwack
Game
to the
on.
ribs of Lee Budgen. He has not missed a double in this game, Culleton, and Budgen's only missed 1.
Niall is now throwing first for the match, and again we talk about those
60.
moments when people cancel each other out, and it comes down to those key seconds. In this case, those key visits.
58.
Oh, Culleton is now favourite to win this darts match.
Oh, make no mistake, Matt. That really hurt Budgen. He's thinking, I'm getting a look at that out.
95.
I'm going to fancy it to take the game. And consider my words from earlier in the match eaten, because I didn't think Culleton was going to take us even into leg 7. Never mind win the match.
85.
There's the frustration, the shake of the head, the pointing at the darts, and the eagerness right now of Lee Budgen, the pace in which he's walking, the pace in which he wants to approach the board.
83.
I said he's a man who's in full control. He's a man who's losing control.
Control is lost.
46.
Culleton has now still got the darts and a 1-dart lead and a good start to this visit.
95.
I don't like that at all. I think that just shows a little bit of mathematical weakness. He should have gone to the 20s with the last dart. I know he wanted to try and leave something
100.
by using all of the 19s, but for me that was just a slight fragility in the game.
Budgen is chasing.
100.
You can tell after that 100, just not happy, not settled. He's flustered. Can he just resettle for 6 darts? That's all he needs to find.
140.
Brilliant darts there from Lee
Now you
Budgen. There's the
require
first
68.
stage. But if he's going to get a shot that 72, he needs now Culleton to miss.
Game,
He doesn't miss.
Shot. And the
What
match.
has
Niall
he done
Culleton.
in that game to defy a 98 average from his opponent? And now Lee Budgen has got all of the rest of the day to dwell on that. Look at the Budgen average compared to Culleton. And if that does not prove the point of Matthew Edgar from earlier on this morning, nothing will. There were 16.5 points between them in the average, and the man to your left, who did not miss a double and put in that thwack of a 157 checkout, he wins, and he also will top the table going into Tuesday. Best game of the day, bar none. But we do have two left. Henderson against Smith follows this.